money and stuff. We just want to expand for the city.
Yeah. Yes, that's also our targets. You can also apply for the competition and the registration services. We can also help you to proceed with the procedures. That's no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I saw a questions from Chopia already answered. And also I shared our website link to the chat box.
I asked if I have not, I don't know, say have to start a business, study, or back to that.
Repeat your question. So it's if you have started your company less than a year.
Sorry, Heather, I cannot hear very clearly. Can you help repeat the problem?
Hi, Laura.
Yes.
Yes, so we have a question on site. So she's wondering the requirement for having studied overseas or started your company for more than a year. Is that a requirement to enter the competition for like foreign, because we're an African startup here. So do they automatically qualify if they have started the company in Africa?
Okay, so I think that's no problem for African local startup teams. Yeah, you are foreigners, so that's no problem for you. I think that requirement is only for the Chinese startup teams. Yeah.
Okay, and then going back to the first question, I think Dave asked a question about the intellectual property. So you were saying that HICOOL doesn't take the IP, like the startups will have their own IP. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And also we will sign an agreement when you register the competition that to make sure that your IP will keep conventional. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think for time's sake, we just move to the next section. Thank you, Laura. We'll just continue with our panel on site. Thank you so much for having us. If we have any more questions, we'll reach out to you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so since we're running late in time, so we'll just start with our panel discussion on trends and opportunities in African tech. So we'll just be welcoming our panelists on stage. Okay, cool. So we have George from Facebook, and then we have Tree from Pathway Jobs. Yes. We have Nosongo from Market Communication. So we also have Maria from So I think we're just gonna start. We're also going to prepare conferences first. They were able to raise the Series A round this year from China-based SLNE. I thought it would be able to know really good insights, but if you get your later, we'll invite you on stage. So we'll just have like a quick introduction from the panelists here. Just tell us more about yourself and your started.
Hello. Yeah, I felt a little bit awkward sitting in front of you. Hi everyone, my name is George. As you can see, from Pixels, we specialize in providing remittance service from Africa to Asia, specifically overweight in China, because China is a very unique country and very little known about how we should use the fund into the country. And that's what we are specializing in. And do I need to introduce myself? I need to have personal lifestyle.
Maybe I know that you've been in there with Africa for a really long time. So tell us more about your experience and your startup here, personal life, and publishing.
All right. So everybody's not interested in the company, right? All right. Well, okay. My name is George. I'm not from China. I'm from Singapore. Singapore. When I grow up here. So how I started coming to Africa. Previously, my background was in cross-border trade facilitation. So that means that I was developing solution for government as far as logistics, compliance, customs, so on and so forth. So that's my background. That's what I went into Africa, and I really fell in love with Africa. And I felt that there were a lot of opportunity to grow. So from that experience, I was seeing from a customs compliance perspective as far as cross-border is concerned. But I also saw a huge gap when it comes to cross-border trading. And when I look at this space, I noticed it was quite empty. Right? So I started researching and I realized that it was not just only empty, but the market size is extremely big. If you just look at the room here, I think most of the things that you can see in the chair, the lights, everything, a lot of them come from China. Right? So that means that the trade between Africa and China is huge. Right? So it was a bit weird when I stepped in and I realized that, okay, no one is doing, and also this runs. And coming from Singapore, Singapore is kind of known as a promising country, a hub, if you will, for not just logistics, but also financial services. So I thought like, yeah, this is the best place to go. So I quit my job last year and I started fixing. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day so far. My name is Trey Hunt. I am one of the co-founders of AfterJob, also known as the AfterJob Network. And AfterJob is a talent startup. We work with companies all across Africa to help them get really good talent into their organizations. We do that through recruitment services as well as through employer branding services. So for us, it's not enough just for a company to share a job description and expect us to get really good talent. Companies, especially companies that don't have the visibility of a lot of larger organizations, really need to be able to showcase the cultural aspect of the company, the vision of the company, the story of the company, and then be able to use that to attract and retain really good talent from across the nation, also from across the world. As for myself, I am from the United States, and I went to Harvard University where I studied a lot of China, Africa related things. And that's what took me to HICOOL University, and then later took me to Nairobi. So really looking forward to speaking to everybody here today. And hope you enjoy it.
My name is Adanian. I'm very happy to be here today because my life is all about starting and finishing things. One of the founding members of Africa Stocking that was started by Sam Kandi, who is our group CEO, and Eston Kimani. I'm actually pleased to see him because once upon a time he was my roommate. I say that we both grow beards. Mine has become a bit whiter because my brother beard. I was growing in the place with my son, a baby, a human baby. But a book called Son of the Nile that I'm releasing of the Jewish Festival between the 21st and the 24th. And this is actually a very apt opportunity. So I thank the organizers, I thank Viva, and thank you as well, because our company is called Africa Stocking. And often when we're building a startup from 2010, when two small dark bodies opposite Nakoma Prestige in Congo, and we used to like say, I call it Graham Eagle. It was an interesting name because it's called Eagle. Used to like say, I used to say Africa is talking. And Graham would lift his hand and say, are you listening? And it could give us a lot of courage. And so recently, as a matter of fact, to merge to the past, which was International Poetry Day, we started a story series of Africa Stocking. So to remember the people of the diaspora. So sometime there, I'm excited. Wrote how we get the first PLSP license, also the first MD license, when we are still landed youth under 35. And so we gave it to me together with Eston Kimani, and I'll share at some point how that has happened. But most importantly, once a month, Africa Stocking, with the sharing how we grew the business in the last years. So if you are interested, I'd be happy to send them invitations. But because some of you are about to pitch, or some of you are creating teams so that you start startups from the beginning, I'd just like to tell you that the right foundations for your startups. When I think I was about 19 years old, I wrote a book called New Horizons, a guide to applying to colleges in the US. And Eston Kimani, who is a dear friend of mine, and also my business partner, I tutored him for about 9 months, so that, and he aced the ACT, Scholastic Aptitude Test, I think the 99%. So I think I'm a good teacher. The reason I'm saying that is because Trace here went to Harvard, and Eston went to MIT. And that year, I got 6 Kenyans to go to MIT and I'm not going to America myself. So what I'm trying to say with this, and I didn't bribe anybody, because there's some Americans who are bribing other people to get into this top tier university. So the reason why I'm telling you that is that before you start any startup, you need to think about what's your team and have you prepared them to meet the challenges of that startup. So Eston Kimani and Sam Kandi, they both went to MIT, stayed at McGregor Hall. That's where Africa Stocking was founded in name and as an idea. The idea was to connect all the 54+1 African countries and to create an API that connects for both communications and payments. And we achieved and realized that in 2013. So I'm very happy about that. And just to also be in brief, in 2018, we got a major investment from IFC, World Bank, and also Orange. I think they gave us about, not gave us, actually it was an exchange. So an exchange is no robbery. So it was about 1 billion shillings or something like that. A company expand into different countries in Africa. And because we're talking about China-Africa relations, I was very fortunate that when Jack Ma came to Kenya as a young man, I was trying to chase to find where he is because only older people, for some reason, are the ones allowed to speak with him one-on-one, somewhere above 70. And I didn't understand why should this titan of Chinese business, Alibaba, come to Kenya, and the people who are having access are the older people. So because I'm tenacious and I'm an entrepreneur, I went to University of Nairobi, believe it or not. He was speaking inside and I was outside. Okay? Then he went to Kempinski. One of my adopted mother's daughters, Bekele Thomas, who is now the UN resident coordinator in South Africa, stick me in. I was only able to wave at him. Guys, I was only able to wave at Jack as he was leaving with Dr. Muhisa Kitui to get out of Kempinski Hotel. But I didn't give up. That very night, I took a flight to Rwanda because I'd been invited for an event where Jack Ma was also speaking. So I was lifting a board written, today is hard, tomorrow is difficult, but the next day there will be sunshine. I'm lifting the board so that Jack Ma could see it, but he's a big challenge of height. So he couldn't see, lifting this thing, see us, but that didn't happen. Serendipity happens. Believe it or not, guys. 2 weeks after that, I went to Aspen Institute where I'm a fellow, nominated by my friend Joe Legashuru because of Umawaki entrepreneurship. I saw a bunch of Chinese frolicking the green verdant lawns of Aspen Institute in Colorado. And I wondered, gosh, who are these guys? So I said, I went and profiled my card to them and I said, this is my card. I'd like to engage you. And the other guy called Brian A. Wong, he was the executive vice president for a long time chief of staff of JKIMA, as they call him in China. He profiled his card and it was written Alibaba, senior vice president, Alibaba Global Initiative. I almost dropped there, but with joy. So the next day he invited me for breakfast with his friends. And to cut the long story short, he asked me, Teddy, could you help me put together the application where young African entrepreneurs could apply to go and spend 3.5 weeks in Alibaba? So because I always work as a team, and I told them I'd like very much, if I come also with my friend and brother Esther Kimani, who was the lead founder of African Stocking. So in fact, when I originally joined African Stocking, I never cared about this idea of founder or these things people want to be titles, because I think titles are best kept for cans or for Coca-Cola. I get in and I get the work done. And I urge all the entrepreneurs who are here, don't struggle so much about your title, get the job done for Africa, okay? Please get the job done for Africa. So that's my short story. Went to Hangzhou, Jack Ma put us up at the in Shanghai, and because I didn't know what gift I'll give to the richest man in Asia. Guys, can you hear that? I didn't know what gift I could give the richest man in Asia. So I asked my friend who was painting from Dagoretti, it's called Costa Ojuan, could you paint for me the image of Jack Ma and put the background of the orange? Because the Chinese seem to have a fascination with orange. Okay, I think. So, I carried this wet paint. I almost missed my flight. It was an Ethiopian Airlines flight because the paint had not dried. But I was very determined to take this painting to Japan. But when I landed in China, okay, actually the person who held the plane for me was the son of my old principal at Renana, who held the Ethiopian Airlines for me. And this is a true story. So I got into the plane, I got into China, and when I landed in at the Shanghai airport, can you believe people were saying, you mean you have the image of J.K. Ma? I didn't know who J.K. Ma was, but this is the way they refer him or call him. So, do I need to say, one, go to Alibaba, that there's a guy who has an image of Alibaba at the airport. So Jack actually came and met us. We were supposed to meet us at the tail end of the event. Jack came to receive it 3 days after we got into Hangzhou, which is a very big deal because it's Jack Ma. So he actually came in his pajama kind of pants. There's an image online, but in short, he came and met us and he gave us access to go to where he started Alibaba at Tupan Garden. It's an apartment which they used to stay about maybe 21 beds sharing a 3-bedroom apartment. So he gave us access to see that. And on the walls of that a partner, it's written, development is true. I'll repeat it again, development is true. So either you think of developing, doing coding or developing a country, because that was the Chinese philosophy that made them do the leapfrog from where they were to where they are now. So that. And because of that project, Jack Ma and Brian A. Wong, they arranged for us to go to Paytm. Who is from India here? Is anybody from India? So do you know Paytm? Yeah, so we went to pay through mobile, and they showed us how they do their thing. And my good friend Aston Kimani led us into creating a new company called Ideas Come to Life, ICT Life, which you can find at ictlife.com. But when we were about to launch it, COVID happened. So we're all scattered in different places. Aston went to Watamu, where he lives now. And believe it or not, I went to my village called Kamnua Village in Yakat. And that's where I live, and that's where I create my stuff. So out of that, I've written a book called Son of the Nile. And the idea was to show each and every African entrepreneur that we all have stories, and we can write our own stories. Don't wait until
if you wait until you're 80, most of your friends will be dead. So even if you want to refer some of your stories, you'll call them, but they're not there. So write your stories now if you can. And I hope you'll be joining us in the coming months and years to an Africa Stalking headquarters in Lavington as we share how we build Africa Stalking.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Teddy, for sharing your story. So I think Masogo from Market Force just joined us. So we were just doing introductions. So you can.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So my name is Masogo Sibuti. I'm the co-founder and CTO at Market Force. I'm not as fancy as my friend here, but I'm primarily just a village boy trying to chase his dreams, and along that, try to encourage everyone to also chase their own dreams along that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. So I was going to ask you because you can introduce more about Market Force maybe, because I also heard that you guys recently raised a Series A fund from like a couple of funds, including SOSV. So you want to share more about that?
Yeah. So at Market Force, we're essentially trying to build the operating system for retail distribution in Africa. So we serve the last mile merchants. Those are our key customers. So I mean, as you mentioned, we've been lucky to be able to access some of the best accelerators in the world. So we were part of YC and then now SOSV. We've been very helpful and insightful. We actually got time to actually go to China, go to India, and look at how the retail space is working in the continent. Got a lot of learnings from there, and we're trying to borrow and learn a few things and model our business around that as we empower the merchant in this ecosystem.
Thank you. I definitely think there's a lot of synergies between the developing African tech startup ecosystem with places like Asia or like China, where there has been more experience with technology and different digital advancements. So I think that's really cool. And I wanted to talk to Trey since I met you, because I know you were part of Yanqing Scholar at Beijing. So I wanted you to share maybe a little bit more about your experience in China, and now you're in Nairobi building a startup. And also there was a lot of talking about the talent gap in the African startups. And I think you were bringing some talents from outside of Africa as well. So how do you see there could be more collaboration in the talent space between Africa and China, for example?
Thank you so much for that question, Heather. Yes, so just for a little bit more on my own background. So I, before after job, I was very much not in the business space, in the tech space. I was very much, I'd say, in the scholarly, academic type of space. And so I really, at that time, wanted to be much more of an academic, probably be a professor or something like that. But I think for me, the world does need a lot of astronomers, but it also needs astronauts as well. And I think for, on a personal level, you can only read and write about things so much before you actually want to get involved with them and be a part of them. And so one of the things that I had always encountered, and also many of my friends from the continent had always encountered during our time, was that whether you were on the continent or whether you were away, it was oftentimes very, very difficult to find really cool opportunities working with cool, fast-growing African companies. Like if you want to volunteer somewhere or you want to work for an NGO or something, a lot of those opportunities tend to be pretty easy to find, like a quick maybe Google search away. But there was no platform really where you could find really cool information about fast-growing companies and then be part of that story. So when it comes to making sure that there's more cross-border or international collaboration, not just like China, Africa, but just into Africa or around the world, I think it's really important for companies here to really make sure that they're doing a great job of showcasing who they are, showcasing more than just a TechCrunch article or showcasing more than something that comes out in Disrupt Africa, but actually really having a face to the organization. Because if it's already difficult to get somebody in Nairobi who maybe works at Microsoft and thinks he's taking a really big gamble by working for a cool startup or a startup that the startup says is cool, but maybe he himself doesn't think is cool. If it's already hard to convince someone who's in the same city or in the same ecosystem to make that big jump, how difficult is it going to be to convince somebody who is in Beijing or is in Tokyo or is in Sao Paulo or wherever it may be? And so I think in order for companies to really do a great job of attracting talent, not just in terms of their local ecosystem, but on a global ecosystem, they really have to do a great job of showing something that is beyond what can be found on a piece of paper, and showing their culture, their vision, their story, and then having people encouraged to be part of that story.
Okay, cool, thanks. And then I'm gonna throw it over to George, since you kind of discovered your business model like after spending years in Africa and recognizing that there's like a lot of gap in payments, in trade, cross-border trades, and specifically with China. So yeah, just tell us a bit more about like how you developed this product and how you felt like how are you planning on like fill this gap between China, like Asia and Africa?
Okay. It was a very steep learning curve. I must say, I am a Chinese descendant, but I'm not Chinese. I speak the language, but for me to deal with Chinese directly, even when we speak the same language, it's still very difficult for me, right? So that's the first challenge, language. Second, culture, right? So in order to work with Chinese, you need to understand the nuances, the culture. So for me to actually approach or develop any meaningful partnership with any Chinese corporation, I must admit, I struggle a lot. So how I developed the product, I'm actually quite thankful and grateful that one of the co-founders is actually a Chinese. So that kind of helped, right? So I guess this is a universal challenge. When you are dealing with someone that is not from your culture or speak the same language, naturally you form this invisible wall, right? So specifically to China market, I would say that it's important to actually have someone in your team to be able to communicate, not just the language part, but this, you need to know how to pick up body languages, signs. These are things that you can't learn. So, for example, for myself, I mean, I speak the language, but it was difficult for me. So that was the first hurdle that I need to overcome. Like I said, I have a co-founder who's Chinese. That really solved a big part of the collaboration. After that, that's when we need to get into the technical part, developing the solutions, or the product, or the service. As I mentioned earlier on, to be able to send or remit any money back into China, that's a huge challenge. It's something that a lot of people outside of China don't understand. When we talk about payment into China, in China, the central bank, PBOC in this case, need to know what kind of funds are you sending back to China. You need to categorize it, you need to define it before you can actually get a quota to get to buy RMB in this case. So in this case, China's RMB is not a freely traded currency. It's not like you can go to the bank and say, hey, can I buy some RMB? You can't do that, right? So typically, in most parts of the world, not just in Africa, you go to the bank, the first thing you ask for is USD, right? This USD needs to go to somewhere, right? Usually proxy country, which is Singapore or Hong Kong, right? From there, with a licensed partner, you could only bring the money back. So it's actually a little bit convoluted, if you ask me. It took me a long time to understand, but thankfully, with my co-founder, she managed to prevail, navigate in that jungle, and we managed to sign up a lot of really good partnership with a lot of big Chinese company, and we are so young, so we were a bit surprised that why would the big companies talk to us, right? Actually, to my surprise, I realized that in this particular domain, we're talking about fintech here, right? If you try to check all these boxes, like, do you understand the financial industry? Do you understand the culture in China? Do you speak the languages? Do you understand fintech? Understanding the currency, the AML, KYC, all this. If you try to check all these boxes, it's very difficult to find these kind of people, right, in Africa. So we as a team, there's 4 of us in the team. We have 2 Singaporean, 1 Chinese, and 1 Kenyan, right? So that kind of formed that F-1 corridor. So, I mean, just from our profile, we have people in the banking industry, we have people in cybersecurity. I myself come from cross-border trade and tech, CTO. So among ourselves, we were pretty self-sufficient. We can manage all the risk, AML risk, KYC, developing the solutions, negotiating contract, so on and so forth. So it was a very difficult journey, but we had some mini triumph and a lot more in the pipeline. We are very excited to share more news in the coming weeks. So that's how we developed the solution.
Very cool. Yeah, I think you guys are definitely very uniquely positioned. And I think for more of those African startups, I think now is still like I would really love to see an African startup to go like to a global stage or go explore more markets. I feel like right now a lot of the conversations are still like involving like scaling up in Africa, and there are still like maybe some gaps. But I think you mentioned some really good points, like with developing like partnerships with like another like big corporation from another market like China. And also having someone that's from that market as part of the team, those are good ways of breaking into the market. That's really cool. So yeah, I think maybe I think both Teddy and Masongo had more experience with maybe interacting with Alibaba or SOSV, so you had experience with working, with Chinese partners. So would you like to speak more on how you think African startups could leverage more on like these external opportunities? What should they look out for? What are some like good strategies from your experience?
I'll actually, because I've been out of business about 4.5 years, I'm just barely back 2 weeks. But I'll say this in short. If you say dealing with China and you're an African startup or you're an African for that matter, know the culture. If you don't know the culture, there's books to read so that you can understand. There's actually a book that was written about Alibaba. I forget the title, but it's an orange cover book with red, but it's basically how Jack Ma built Alibaba. So understand the culture. Know yourself and your business. And this I'll just give from a practical example of the first time I went to China was in 2015. I'd gone to a place called Sanya. How many of you here have gone to Sanya? Oh, good for you. Tell them what Sanya is about. Thank you. So when I first went to Sanya, I'd gone with Aspen Institute as in era of globalization seminar there. And when I was asked to go there, I was very hesitant because I had my own stereotypes about China. You see that? So a lot of people have stereotypes about China. For example, they say, these guys only sell us the bad stuff. Okay? And I'm just giving you so that you understand a few things. So when I did the Alibaba e-fellowship program, I'm not sure if it still goes on or it's still not there, but it's called E-Founders, Shaping a New Generation for people in the new economy. So Brian A. Wong took us to a place called Yiwu. Is that the correct pronunciation? So if you go to JKIA, when you're exiting Kenya, right? But this is one of the biggest markets. If you think Gikomba or in Kisumu they call it Kibuye, or in Nigeria they have those are big markets. Those are nothing compared to what you see in Yiwu. Say for example, I've never seen so much brand of socks in my life. And how cheaply they are sold than I saw at Yiwu. But in Yiwu, what I realized is that there are 3 kinds of goods. There's the high-class, high-grade socks. There's the cheap socks that if you wear it can tear within a day or 2. And then there's a medium range. So you're given according to what you can pay, right? So what I'm trying to say with this is that what you see and hear about China, not all of it is necessarily the truth. So you have to go and find out also for yourself, because the people who tell you this, who sell you some of these items, they're probably getting the cheapest products that they can then sell to you in the fastest way possible. See that? Then we went to China, so we're taking someone to see the phones called Xiaomi. Who has a Xiaomi phone? Who has an Apple phone here? Okay? So, how many of you here have gone to Shenzhen? How many of you have gone to Hangzhou? Tell me about Hangzhou. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, thank you. And to the point that she has said about textiles, this I'm trying to give you so that you get an idea about China in the shortest time possible. So when Alibaba was exposing us to China, we went to places where women were working the whole night, okay? And they're not working the whole night because they want to work forever. They are working so that they can save the money so they can get themselves out of the economic strata that they are in. See that? And in Kenya here, we have a product called Fuliza that I think the creator of it said the other day that his intention was not so that Kenyans could be borrowing to go to use the money to drink or to treat their girlfriends or boyfriends. He was trying to introduce a saving culture. When the guys from Neo, from Alibaba, when he was showing me how he's been saving on his phone, the product is called Alipay. He can just about borrow anything in the world that he wants, or buy anything, because his credit is fantastic. Because almost 60% of what he gets, he saves. He uses 40%. You see that? So what I'm trying to allude to you is the Chinese culture and why they have built the kind of country they have built. And the one thing that also Jack Ma told us, I thought was very surprising, he told us, fall in love with the government, but don't marry the government. I'll leave you to think about it. I'm going to repeat it. Fall in love with the government, but do not marry the government. You follow? I hope you can think about it. And the other thing that surprised me when I went to Alibaba setup, there were a lot of American quotations. I lived and worked in America for 10 years. So on the wall, it seems Jack Ma was heavily influenced by Steve Jobs, because the wall was written about stay hungry, stay foolish. You see that? And then the company of Alibaba had a way of also rewarding its employees. You do something good, you are rewarded. And what I noticed, which I need to tell you, especially for those who will do business with China, I come from a place or a point that I don't drink alcohol, okay? And Kenya, that seems to be the biggest, which is also okay, okay? So when I went to China, for the first few days, I was not taking any of the alcohol. Then I realized these guys can't fully trust me until I put the alcohol. So I was putting it like this, and I was putting it like this, but I was not really swallowing. I don't know how to put that. But the more I drank with them, and we did the gambe, and I was pretending I'm so drunk, the better and easier it was the next day to do business with them. You see that? So in the end, what came out of that is that also, which young African entrepreneurs need to learn. When you go to, if somebody gives you an opportunity to meet Jack Ma, when you meet him, the first thing should not be you asking him, because he's a dollar billionaire, for money. Ask him how he built his business. Ask him about the failures he had in his business, and ask him how he selected his first team. So Jack Ma selected a team of 18 people, who some were his students and fellow workers. You see that? So he ended up building this company with them, and each of them, he ended up sharing the prosperity with them. So if you guys are also founders here and you're doing business in China, or even your own business, make sure you're sharing the prosperity of your company with your original employees, and so that you can build a robust business. So that's what I wanted to share with them. And also know how to use Ding Talk or WeChat. And so it's been amazing and good. And given since I met my Chinese friends in China, or the ones I met in Aspen, I have a completely different outlook on China than I had before, because before I had a lot of assumptions. So guys, cure your assumptions and let's do business with China, and especially when they're doing business in the African savannah. We are the lions and lionesses of the African savannah. They are the dragons, and is there a word like dragonesses of China, and they are here in the savannah. So let's dance with them here as equals, if you can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, cool. Thanks so much for sharing. Definitely, like collaborations as equals. Yeah, like lions dancing with dragons. I think that's like a book. Okay, so Masongo. Since you mentioned that you guys went to China, India to check out the local like retail space or like e-commerce over there. So maybe share more of your like learnings from those trips, and how you could, you guys are planning on applying it on market force potentially.
Yeah, so I think responding to the question about, how you can learn from like having an international network or going into different countries, I think for me what I've seen to be important is being able to create and maintain those networks, because you never know when you need them. I think a lot of young entrepreneurs always, you're normally fixated on something that you want at a particular time and kind of don't think so much about the future. But what I've realized is that, you might be, maybe in an accelerator for something else, but you might end up getting partners there, you might end up getting employees, you might end up getting future investors from that. So it's important that you actually take time to build and sustain relationships, even if they don't equate to anything at the present moment. Yeah, so that's just that, networks is important. Then two is learning from skill. I think for me, that was kind of mind-changing when I see what people have been able to do in China and now what people are doing in India also. You get to understand what scale actually means and get to interact with people that have actually worked at a certain scale and, getting to learn the journey, how they actually got there. What are the different things they considered, what's the capital implication of that you need, and how are they also navigating the culture like that, because it's gonna actually affect how you run your business, right? So and even when you expand across the African continent, you realize that you can't really exactly replicate everything from market to market. You have to localize and customize. So, getting to go to those bigger markets and actually see how they localize and then customize to the needs of the users. So you get to see some cultures where, borrowing is very high, some cultures where they repulse away from borrowing and, they just like to pay instantly and things like that. So how do you actually incorporate that into your business? I think another learning also is just on the technology exchange. So, the reality is some markets are way advanced than us in terms of technology, both in terms of just the state of the technology and also the adaptability. So then the question becomes like, how do you also localize around that given, the situation of the market where you're operating in, right? Yeah.
Okay, that's very great. Thanks for sharing. And also, I have just like one last question for you. So how do you guys got in touch with SOSV? Did they reach out to you, or did you find them, or did you find any difference working with them versus maybe the previous U.S. funding that you guys were getting, or from international funding sources?
Yeah. So actually, most of my investors African, so we are 80% African owned. But in terms of international, so it's the intentionality of it. So getting in touch. So my co-founder was actually a fellow Alibaba fellow. And it's always been, you go out there and actually look for those networks, because you realize that, there's many people in the world that are hungry. It's very unlikely that SOSV will specifically be looking for you. So, you have to get out there and be intentional about, what you want. Why do you want to get in touch with them? What's the value? I always tell people that try to present what value are you going to add to SOSV? What value are you going to add to Alibaba? Because, everybody's looking to create value, right? So you can't just go with only your needs. You need to also go with, what value are you going to bring onto the table? Yeah.
That's a very important lesson for sure. Yeah, so since we're a bit short on time, so I would just want to open to the floor, if anybody has a question for our panelists, and we can address those questions. Okay, so I'm gonna go
here. Good evening, everyone. My question goes to George, Teddy. Yeah, George and Teddy. Yeah, you talk about that for you to go to the China market, you have to know the language and the culture for you. What about if you have a solution or value that you're going to take to China market, but you don't know or you don't understand for the language and the culture, but you have a solution for them at that moment, what they need. My second question is for George. George, you said that you doing the remittance between Africa and China, right? Which coin are you using? That's the first question.
Sorry, which what?
Which coin are you using for the remittance? The second question is, what makes you different from other African startups that we have that are dealing with the remittance here in Africa? What makes you so different with them? My third question goes to Teddy. Teddy, you talk about TikTok, that we should be acquainted with TikTok. You talk about TikTok. You did?
TikTok.
Oh, it's TED Talk. Sorry. But maybe my question should go to either when it comes to TikTok. TikTok is a Chinese company and it's a social media, right? TikTok is a platform made from the generation Z, that is the generation between 18 to 25 years, yeah? So, and that is our generation that we really communicate our messages. But we have banned messages mostly for African startups when you want to talk about your crypto startups. I mean, how are we going to go about that, or what do you advise us to do that? Thank you so much.
I have three. I almost forgot all the three questions. So maybe I try to answer first before I forget, right? So your first question is, do I have a solution already for the Chinese, right? Yes, we do. Actually, the need is so huge, and there isn't a solution in the market, frankly speaking. When I say solution, it means that it has to be legal, right? It has to be efficient. So what we have now in the market, as far as payment into China is concerned, is you only have two channels. One, official banks. Second, I'm not sure you know this term, Hawala. Yeah. So Hawala is black market, right? So banks, I hope nobody from banks here. Banks are not so friendly to SME, right? So for SME to go to the bank, they will ask you for all kinds of supporting documents and so on and so forth, to the point that you spend too much time, just fulfilling all these requirements. Not only that, it's right. Not only that, the turnaround time also. So that's banking. But for Hawala is in the picture. In fact, it's very. They actually fulfill a segment that the bank is not able to fulfill, which is I want something easy to use, I want it quick, I want it cheap. It's very popular, right? But Hawala has a problem. Why we focus on China is because we understand how China works. Hawala will have a lot of risks. Remember I mentioned about to bring the money back into China, you need to get a quota, right? And if you cannot account for the fund that is inside your bank account, your account will be frozen, right? Those who have dealt with Chinese supplier, I'm sure they have shared those problems with you, right? Worse, some of these individuals might be blacklisted, right? So Hawala has its problem, banks has its own sets of problems. So where we are coming in, somewhere in between, right? We are competitive when it comes to pricing. Or not, actually, Chinese really, really want to come to Africa to do a lot more in the fintech space. You know that China is the leader in this, right? Yeah, WeChat, yeah, Alipay. But it's just that they don't understand Africa, right? So it is difficult for them to navigate. So this is what, right. So that's question one. Question number two, what coins, right? I hope you don't bring this up in front of CBK. Central bank don't like crypto, not just in Kenya, I think generally in Africa, right? So we don't use coin. Yeah, so we do, just now I mentioned about we have signed a lot of partnership. These are licensed partnership, right? So we do the remittance legally with a lot of partners. A lot of things takes place behind the scene. And from a user perspective, it is as simple as how much do you need to send to China in onshore CNY, right? Yeah, and for local context, most of the merchants or traders, if you want to pay a Chinese trader, the current habit is, what is the quotation in USD, right? Then they need to start converting from Kenya shillings to USD and USD to onshore CNY. What we do is straight away Kenya shillings to CNY. Yeah. We can do this is because of, like I said, all the partnership that we have established behind the scene, right? And what was the third question? So I'm done, yeah?
She's TikTok. I've only seen a few TikTok, and maybe some of these days I'll try it out. But you'd asked another question before about how do we do business with China or share our thoughts and ideas with China. So one of the best things that came from Jack Ma's visit to the greater Africa through UNCTAD and Alibaba Business School, and with the help of also Dr. Mohisa Kitui, was to create something called the Alibaba Global Initiative. So it's at agi.alibaba.com. So they run exchange programs for entrepreneurs, government policy makers, and educators. And Alibaba also has another program called the Luohan, not for meaning Luo, Luohan Academy, that also provides a lot of opportunities for rising technology entrepreneurs out of Africa. And though it's not used a lot, but we have a robust Kenyan embassy in China that the investment or the economic attaché, they could always give you a lot of information that you need or who you need to partner with. And also the Chinese embassy here in Nairobi. It looks like a fortress, but you're always welcome in to find the information that you need. So feel free that you're in your country, walk in and ask for the information that you need, and they often will give it to you. So is there another question? Which is?
My question goes to, I've heard both of you have to go through the governments.
But initially when I was speaking, I say, even the richest man in Asia, at the point in which I knew better, said you should always fall in love with your government, but don't marry your government. In fact, you should probably write that down.
I have.
It will help you in the coming months and years, because also me here in Kenya, I've fallen in love with the government of Kenya, but I've never married it. Because when you want to start a good business that needs to scale or serve many customers, you need regulatory licenses, and those are owned by the government. They could wake up tomorrow and withdraw those licenses. And there's nothing you can do. See that? Because our business is uses, or we pass our messages through people's cell phones, millions or thousands of cell phones, and that's regulated by communications authority. We have alliances with them, and that's government. You see that? So it's important to, and you are a citizen, and hopefully you vote or can vote, so that's also your government, and you also pay taxes. So why can you not use the services they offer, or they can offer you? And the other thing you can join is now, remembered, make sure you join the industry organizations like KEPSA, Kenya Association of Manufacturers, etc., because they'll help pave the way for you to be able to scale outside Kenya or in Kenya. And because a lot of businesses in Kenya, it seems they're built not to scale. People think that you should only build a business that works only in Nairobi, then you assume it works in the 47 counties. You see that? Or build for Africa. In fact, you include the name Africa in the business name, but it only operates in Nairobi. What kind of thinking is that? You see that? So you need, including COMESA, for example, our number 2 customer at Africa Stocking was the Ministry of Medical Services. Professor Nyong'o paid us for a service 88,000 shillings. They helped us pay rent for 3 months in the beginning, which was a very big deal. You see that?
We'll just collect both questions and then we'll have them.
Okay, so yeah, my question will go to Teddy. I was really pretty inspired by your story about how you managed to talk to Jack Ma, because actually that day in Kempinski, I was one of the event was coordinated by Stanchart, and I was working for Stanchart. I was one of the team coordinating the event, and not only me, my whole team, no one got a chance to talk to him. And I was so inspired that you kept trying. And then by doing that, you also facilitated a lot of things happening. Then you went to Hangzhou, you discussed a lot of things, you set up the academy. So it's very interesting and inspiring to me as well. So I want to ask for tips. So both also, I think other panel guests mentioned that networking is a very critical factor to entrepreneurs. So I want to ask for tips for networking. So, but before I finish my question, I also want to share a perspective, share something like some of my view about stereotypes. Because yeah, so I just now I was just thinking. So when Trey and Teddy and all the guest speakers there, when you talk about China, it sounds very nice and genuine. And I feel like when I start to talk about China, the way I look, the color of my eye, my haircut, just it sounds like a propaganda somehow. When I'm a Chinese and when I talk about China, it's somehow like, oh, you guys are talking about propagandas. So I think these are like the stereotypes, and I think I want to borrow the words you have, like you fall in love. I want to offer another perspective about stereotypes. Yes, we all combat stereotypes. But I think another way is you also find opportunity in stereotypes, like what we I'm also part of Pixels, like what we do in Pixels. Everyone else is looking at the Western Africa corridor, but then because no one knows a lot about China, so that's kind of, this is a place where it's very empty. So I really encourage all the fellow entrepreneurs here, try to look for, I saw someone I know. Look for so find the stereotypes and go deeper go deeper into the stereotype, and maybe behind that stereotype is a bigger opportunity for us. And I do encourage everyone to try to apply for that the HICOOL competition. Is at least a way that is available here for us to get a connection on the other side. And since, you know, if you look for a campaign in America, maybe there will be so many people applying. But then if you look for a campaign in China, maybe the queue is much shorter. Why don't we go for it? So yeah, so that's my the perspective I want to share about stereotype. We not only combat it, we also try to find opportunity from the stereotypes. Yeah, thanks. And
thank you, April. Yeah, we'll have.
Hi.
Hello. We do have our own payment gateway built in already. If you look at the entire value chain, actually there's many players in it. You're right, you can't bypass USD, meaning you can't bypass SWIFT, right? So there will be a USD component behind the scene, right? But what we are offering is something simpler. I earn Kenyan shillings, I just need to pay CNY. As to how it's being done, it's a secret sauce. Yeah, but for sure there is a payment gateway to connect with a lot of partners, and all partners will have their own API. And you need to understand the business logic behind it, how settlement works, how KYC works, how AML works. You need to check against different database, sanction lists, PEP, UN lists, etc. So all these you must fulfill CBK requirement, right? So CBK, the central bank requirement is not just in Kenya, but also in the inbound country, which is in China as well. You need to know all these things before a transfer can take place. Right? So for license-wise, definitely you need license. And we are working with licensed partner. That's all I can review at this stage. I think my colleague behind has something to add.
The traditional remittance that you are doing with the Western countries corridors, it's very difficult for someone to be in that space, to enter that space right now without even a license, because it's already, and also it's already, there's so many competitors in this space. So, but then as a new entrant, so Pixis is a very new company, and we are able to just build a solution based on different partnerships. So you don't have to have your own license as long as if you work with people who has license and still under the CBK or whichever central bank framework, right? So I'm just saying, so this space has so much opportunity, and even if you are a new entry, as long as you can put all the ingredients into the pan, then you can cook something very delicious. Yeah.
The only thing I want to say to you is, when you don't have your license, when you use other people's license, what happens is, if you making a transaction X from here to China, and the other person that has the license says you have to pay $5 transaction example. When you have your own license, you can define the price, since you know the buying power in Africa is not big, let's say. So I feel like it should be better for you, if you don't have all type of license, to go get them, find investors, to put in the work with you and go get them, and then build something that is like, the PayPal of Africa, why not? But maybe some Africans in the room will do it, who knows? But it's quite expensive to get those licenses, of course, but using other people's license makes transaction quite more costly than if you have your own license. That's why, for me, example, if I'm making a transaction from the US to here, costs me about like $24. Saying from someone in Canada, from New York to Canada, for free, just my email. So you see what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, so that's why I think the space has a huge opportunity, and what you just said is what we are actually trying to do.
Yeah, I just want to comment on your comments. Is you are speaking like a true entrepreneur. Yeah, because like you could already see where the business gap is, right? Yeah. So just now we did touch on scalability. So if we try to refine ourselves to we must get licenses in order to operate, then our business will not take off, right? So scalability here is very key. To do things fast, obviously you have to start somewhere. You are not going to start with a license tomorrow. Period. That's it, right? So you need to be creative when it comes to planning for your business, your strategy. You know, strategy change over time. It's dynamic, it's not static. So what you just said, you kind of read to our game plan. That is something in the pipeline. Yeah.
Thanks very much. So this question is for Musu, and it's a little bit of a holy grail question, so I apologize for that. But at Market Force, you've moved into a bunch of countries, and you've expanded really well around Africa. Do you have any learnings from that process that you can share? You know, you've got some core product offerings, things are different in each market. To what extent do you localize? To what extent do you try to keep things at a consistent core offering? And what's the thinking been around that?
I actually want to enter this question. Move to you. I think normally what I've found is that as an entrepreneur and any business, you always have to choose its DNA. And there is always a case that you can present and say, hey, you know, our DNA is gonna be go at it all alone, no partnerships, get licenses. But you have to be aware of what that path actually means. So I think what he was alluding to is that if you actually want to move with speed, then you have to make partnerships as part of your DNA. And then you have to go back and ask, like, what does partnerships actually mean? Who do I need to get on the team to actually be able to negotiate for the right partnerships for me to be able to win in this space? Yeah, so I mean, you could, and that space is very convoluted in terms of getting licenses. Even for big players, it's not easy to get a license, you know, from central banks of any country. And those, they could get called back if something happens. As a startup, I think you're better off actually, you know, plugging onto someone else's license. But then that has a question of cost, of course. Yeah, so coming back to your question around expansion in Africa, I mean, I think most people are aware that the market is a bit disintegrated in a way. I mean, we don't, most of the common blocks don't work. You need kind of like different licensing to do things in each of the countries that you go. The cultures are different. So I think what we've been able to do really, I mean, I would say the magic is always around the team that you build. It's important that in every market that you go, you actually get the right champion. What remains central is the customer you're solving for and what your solution is. And before you actually expand, the question you have to answer first is, is there a need for our solution in this market? The need might not be exactly the same in every market, but how fast are you actually able to localize and customize for you to have a product market fit? And then you have to go in and get the right champions for your solution in those markets, and those become like, your co-founders within those markets as part of the expansion, because I'm a big believer in that, when you go to different cultures, you find people that understand those cultures. And we work in the last market, the merchant we are dealing with, the kiosks. You really need someone who actually understands the landscape, understands the little things that trigger those people, and be able to actually push your product. It's not something that you can be able to actually push globally. You need to localize all the way to the last mile.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you've shared. I just wanted to add on that because our company is in multiple countries. Don't feel afraid if you go to Nigeria and get a Nigerian, say, partner or co-founder, because there's this strange belief in Africa, at least as I've seen it, people want to say, let me create a company and I be the sole founder, or something like that. It's a big problem. Africa is so big that its problems cannot be solved with one man or one woman. So for the startup founders here, when you're on an expansion journey, don't be afraid to include new founders from those territories, whether it's Nigeria, Ghana, or what have you. And for the question that April asked that I didn't address, April, I think, given that you've told me you work for Standard Chartered, I think I might have met you at that event, or maybe tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think your card was written that you're in charge of either high net worth China people in Kenya, or is that correct, or private wealth. She said I keep quiet, but now when she mentioned that, I looked at the card and I got a bit afraid, because I was wondering how many zeros are after the shilling of that. So, but thank you for remembering that moment. So you talked about networking. There's not a place like the way I used to be. When we started Africa Stocking as a founding team, we found a lot of solace in a place called IHAB at that time. It was on Gong Road. It could be accessed by either a taxi, your car, bike, walking. It was easily accessible. And there was a very friendly lady there who was a co-founder called Jessica Colasso. So when you're launching a product called smsleopard.com, it's a bulk SMS product, she actually gave us the space for free to use. Not just the space plus the food. And in those days, we were just beginning the business. I'm saying this so that the younger entrepreneurs who are here see that begin where you are. Don't wait until things are rosy is when you launch your product. Just begin where you are, then iterate, sell. And because some people here have asked, I need to seek funding, Series A here, Series B there, C, etc. The first thing you should focus on, build a product that you can sell. And that you can sell anywhere. You see that? And then start selling it, because strategy is amazing. I've been to so many Kenyan offices, and some people ask me, Teddy, write for us a strategy. But I keep on telling them, I can write for you the strategy, but I'm not going to execute it. I think when they ask me for the strategy, they're actually asking me to execute, but they don't know the language or the vocabulary of doing that. So that always, I find it very interesting. But then again, April, for Africa Stocking, we've started something called Africa Stocking Storytelling. We'll be doing it once a month, dedicated to the tech community and for building it. It's called Let's Talk Tech, and it will be once a month. So I'm going to invite you for the next one, and for the people who are here. It should be on about on the 29th, where we'll invite the people who help us when we're founding Africa Stocking. We'll celebrate them, because without them, we could not have built the company and the business and the culture. Thank you. And I think since I've seen, there's a question you asked previously about the government, and the gentleman there with kind of a West African accent, I don't know your name, what's your name, sir, with your mask on? Yes. Dave. Okay. So Dave asked about this intellectual property thing. Oh, Haiti. Bless you. I respect some of the earlier interventions by some of your founders to wrest freedom for the Haitians from the French. So I applaud you guys for that. And anyway, so to answer your question on his, so there's this issue of people are afraid of somebody will steal my IP. It's very prevalent in Kenya. So it gets a lot of entrepreneurs, they kind of become paralyzed because of that. So the government has an organization, I think it's called KIPI, right? So please register your trademarks, find a lawyer, make sure you have a good lawyer friend, a good accountant, and a good person who does sales and marketing and events, but mostly lawyers so that they can help protect your intellectual property at the beginning. So don't start doing these things when the product is already doing well or when the product has already been snatched. You see that? And because you asked, can we build a PayPal for Africa or things like this, isn't it? And as much as there's a lot of, China has payment platform like WeChat and Alibaba's is called Alipay and all that kind of thing. Kenya, we have M-Pesa, but one of the fundamental things we learned from China when Eston, Kimani, and I went there is that how can you use that knowledge to begin something that can work for Africa? Because the data of Africa does not settle with any African company mainly. If you look at WhatsApp, it's an American company. If you look at WeChat or DingTalk, these are Chinese companies. So the question is, what are we building for Africa that our messaging can remain with Africans? So Eston has led us to create a company called Ideas Come to Life at ICT.com. And it's a way of going somewhere, learning from them, because one of the strategies for Alibaba say, learn from us, but don't necessarily copy, but learn. You see that? Learn, get it started, and then make it yours. You see that? Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to reiterate something on licensing, and I think I'll echo what Teddy said. So, if you've looked or reviewed what the strategy from a central bank perspective in terms of the payment strategy, all the things they're doing now is they're licensing, and that's, I think, the strategy that a lot of central banks around Africa will take. They're licensing only a few big players, especially from a PSP perspective, and then so if you go as an individual and start to central bank today, they'll tell you to work with X, you know, and why is that? It's because with all the payment solutions that are coming up, all these good solutions that we're trying to roll out that needs licensing, it will become a nightmare regulatory to handle all of them. Right? So they're driving towards one of the big players that can work with other small. And what that will help, especially from a startup perspective, it will help you to scale. Now, I know the fundamental problem will be in terms of customer acquisition costs, which ultimately, if it is high, we end up reducing the LVT. So it's a matter of now aligning both from that regulatory perspective, the big players and the startup to try and align from a cost perspective, because there are a lot of players who can be able to influence that. And I'm hoping as part of this strategy will unlock some of those issues that a lot of startups face. Thank you.
I just want to add something here. When you say a lot of you're going to make partners with other pairs, they're going to choose, like, let's say, 2-3 big players in the market. For sure, but the main problem is that is the 2 or 3 big players, like we have in Haiti, example, we have a central bank, right? But our only payment system is through the US. The central bank is literally under the Federal Bank Reserve of the United States of America, which is similarly closely the same here. Most of the central banks here are under other banks from overseas, like big European banks, right? We're going to agree on that. So when you keep, let's say, if you have a strategy of keep using the same, let's say, strategies that have been used for centuries and that didn't bring any meaningful result on the continent, then you will have a major problem in the future. You will have a major problem in the future. What I'm saying is, isn't it interesting for Africa to start developing their own Okay, yeah, I know there's a system in place. Like the gentleman was saying, I don't remember your name, sorry, Teddy? Yeah. So you were saying you need to fall in love with your government. I don't necessarily agree, but I would love to do it. But you need to literally think about a new generation of entrepreneurs and financial people that will take that direction with business and finance. Otherwise, you will be stuck with the same system, and most of the core economy of Africa, like Senegalese very famous guy was in New York. He was doing an interview, and he said the core economy of Africa will remain outside of Africa. That's the problem we have right now.
So I'll think about it in two perspectives for my experience. When I look at licensing, I look at that's an enabling to do business. That does not mean that we cannot develop an ecosystem to have funds stay here locally. Now, like, ask yourself, for instance, why is it that for remittance companies, the capabilities around Western Union, World Remit, they are the ones who actually the pipe for guys to send money back home, right? Now, today, you're looking at building a capability that will have those reserves, because ideally, most of the Federal Reserve is USD. I mean, the currency is strong. We cannot escape that. But I agree with you, and part of the solution might be around what you're looking at, cryptocurrencies, and I'm seeing a lot of central banks also warming up. It will create a network where we can actually keep that wealth locally. Right, so it will be a long shot, but I think we'll get there with a lot of innovation that is happening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that comment. Because of time, because we still have like some startup pitches happening and we're running like an hour late. So yeah, I think we will finish this panel. Thank you everyone, and we can always talk more after. Okay, cool, thanks.
Hello, 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 hello. Dang, that's loud. Ladies and gentlemen, feel free to go to the back, to the catering spot, and have something to refresh yourselves before we start the next session. Kindly.
Kuna kingine nakuaga nako
few years ago, I lost my father. And the reason I lost my father was because of cancer. And during the time when he was suffering through cancer, it was really more about him not being able to know what he was suffering because he was self-medicating on a few other things. Before we found out he had cancer, he had arthritis. So during the surgery, there was a lot of medications that were prescribed. That in turn led to us getting a wrong result when we went for the checkup and ended up finding out a lot longer than we needed to.
I met with John 2 years ago when he explained to me the vision. I was working for a successful startup in health, in tech, in financial tech, and when he explained to me the vision of what, and I could immediately relate to it. My dad lives in Kampala. He's been just diagnosed with a cardiovascular disease, so for us as sisters who were wondering how are we going to manage his health. Health is affecting all of us in so many different ways. It's one of the aspects which money can't buy, and it's needed that distraction for it to be able to move to the next stage.
Ultimately, our final client is the station, because we are launching a consolidated healthcare platform, the first of its type anywhere in the world. A patient with chronic illness can sleep, someone who has cancer can sleep knowing that I have my health data here with me.
Health records all the time. I'm feeling fine is a health record, because there's a reason why you're feeling fine.
Basically, we're putting the power of data back into the hands of the patient.
If I'm not too sure of what they are telling me, can I give that to another doctor? Maybe they have a better opinion or a different opinion.
The power of data for us to save people's lives, that's a journey.
So telehealth is a platform where you can meet with your doctor and get treated. It's a virtual treatment, yes, and you get consultation with the doctor, prescription, everything.
Without a place where they can get all this information, they basically have to do guesswork.
If I've records around then, I think I'd still have my father around.
That's why we're saying from Africa to the rest.
The reason I went into healthcare as in my field of expertise is because a few years ago I lost my father. And the reason I lost my father was because of cancer. And during the time when he was suffering through cancer, it was really more about him not being able to know what he was suffering because he was self-medicating on a few other things. Before we found out he had cancer, he had arthritis. So during the surgery, there was a lot of medications that were prescribed. That in turn led to us getting a wrong result when we went for the checkup and ended up finding out a lot longer than we needed to.
I met with John 2 years ago when he explained to me the vision. I was working for a successful startup in health, in tech, in financial tech, and when he explained to me the vision of what, and I could immediately relate to it. My dad lives in Kampala. He's been just diagnosed with a cardiovascular disease, so for us as sisters who were wondering how are we going to manage his health. Health is affecting all of us in so many different ways. It's one of the aspects which money can't buy, and it's needed that distraction for it to be able to move to the next stage.
Ultimately, our final client is the patient.
Start. Because you need to practice. Yeah, practice. No, that is why we actually requested to be number 3. Because this is our first time. I'll give you number 1. Who is mine? As in, I'm ready with the data.
So it seems Vanva is not there. We can start off with academia. I think I've seen George somewhere. I've seen that gentleman somewhere. We can start off with academia. Have I not seen academia? Hi, I can see you, yeah. Come in, pitch. Let's move. Hi, Laboso. No, today we're not doing Femagri.
What's up, people? This is Wired the Lion, and if you're watching this, I want to welcome you to Blog. It's every artist's dream to one day blow up in the music industry. Last year, I celebrated 25 years in the music industry. And all through these years, one problem I've noticed is upcoming artists have a very hard time trying to make it mainstream in the music industry. In most cases, for many artists, it's actually a gamble. You're never guaranteed that success. In many cases, there's no return on investment. And because of that, we came up with the concept of Blow. So if you're an artist, go to blowafrica.com, register, upload your content, and get ready to make your revenue. Hey, what's up, people? This is Wired the Lion, and if you're watching this, I want to welcome you to Blog. It's every artist's dream to one day blow up in the music industry. Last year, I celebrated 25 years in the music industry. And all through these years, one problem I've noticed is upcoming artists have a very hard time trying to make it mainstream in the music industry. In most cases, for many artists, it's actually a gamble. You're never guaranteed that success. In many cases, there's no return on investment. And because of that, we came up with the concept of Blow. So if you're an artist, go to blowafrica.com, register, upload your content, and get ready to make your revenue. Hey, what's up, people? This is Wired the Lion, and if you're watching this, I want to welcome you to Blog. It's every artist's dream to one day blow up in the music industry. Last year, I celebrated 25 years in the music industry. And all through these years, one problem I've noticed is upcoming artists have a very hard time trying to make it mainstream in the music industry. In most cases, for many artists, it's actually a gamble. You're never guaranteed that success. In many cases, there's no return on investment. And because of that, we came up with the concept of Blow. So if you're an artist, go to blowafrica.com, register, upload your content, and get ready to make your revenue. Hey, what's up, people? This is Wired the Lion, and if you're watching this, I want to welcome you to Blog. It's every artist's dream to one day blow up in the music industry. Last year, I celebrated 25 years in the music industry. And all through these years, one problem I've noticed is upcoming artists have a very hard time trying to make it mainstream in the music industry. In most cases, for many artists, it's actually a gamble. You're never guaranteed that success. In many cases, there's no return on investment, and because of that, we came up with the concept of Glow. So if you're an artist, go to glowafrica.com, register, upload your content, and get ready to make your revenue. Hey, what's up people, this is Wyatt the Lion, and if you're watching this, I want to welcome you to Glow. It's every artist's dream to one day blow up in the music industry. Last year, I celebrated 25 years in the music industry. And all through these years, one problem I've noticed is upcoming artists have a very hard time trying to make it mainstream in the music industry. In most cases, for many artists, it's actually a gamble. You're never guaranteed that success. In many cases, there's no return on investment. And because of that, we came up with the concept of Glow. So if you're an artist, go to glowafrica.com, register, upload your content, and get ready to make your revenue. Hey, what's up people, this is Wyatt the Lion, and if you're watching this, I want to welcome you to Glow. It's every artist's dream to one day blow up in the music industry. Last year, I celebrated 25 years in the music industry. And all through these years, one problem I've noticed is upcoming artists have a very hard time trying to make it mainstream in the music industry. In most cases, for many artists, it's actually a gamble. You're never guaranteed that success. In many cases, there's no return on investment. And because of that, we came up with the concept of Glow. So if you're an artist, go to glowafrica.com, register, upload your content, and get ready to make your revenue. Hey, what's up people, this is Wyatt the Lion, and if you're watching this, I want to welcome you to Glow. It's every artist's dream to one day blow up in the music industry. Last year, I celebrated 25 years in the music industry. And all through these years, one problem I've noticed is upcoming artists have a very hard time trying to make it mainstream in the music industry. In most cases, for many artists, it's actually a gamble. You're never guaranteed that success. In many cases, there's no return on investment. And because of that, we came up with the concept of Glow. So if you're an artist, go to glowafrica.com, register, upload your content, and get ready to make your revenue. Hey, what's up people, this is Wyatt the Lion, and if you're watching this, I want to welcome you to Glow. It's every artist's dream to one day blow up in the music industry. Last year, I celebrated 25 years in the music industry. And all through these years, one problem I've noticed is upcoming artists have a very hard time trying to make it mainstream in the music industry. In most cases, for many artists, it's actually a gamble. You're never guaranteed that success. In many cases, there's no return on investment. And because of that, we came up with the concept of Glow. So if you're an artist, go to glowafrica.com, register, upload your content, and get ready to make your revenue. Hey, what's up people, this is Wyatt the Lion, and if you're watching this, I want to welcome you to Glow. It's every artist's dream to one day blow up in the music industry. Last year, I celebrated 25 years in the music industry. And all through these years, one problem I've noticed is upcoming artists have a very hard time trying to make it mainstream in the music industry. In most cases, for many artists, it's actually a gamble. You're never guaranteed that success. In many cases, there's no return on investment. And because of that, we came up with the concept of Glow. So if you're an artist, go to glowafrica.com, register, upload your content, and get ready to make your revenue. What's up, people?
HICOOL is, I'd say, a very interesting platform that digitizes community savings groups such as chamas, VCOBAs, and any other sort of investment groups. As well, also we digitize lending groups like HICOOL.
The problem inside Africa that we have right now is that a lot of savings group culture is very analog instead of digital. This means that you collect money physically and you keep it inside a box and hide it under the bed, or someone decides, oh, I'm going to write down all the transactions in a book, and you trust them to keep track of it. Or just something as simple as not having access to loans because formal financial institutions do not trust financial institutions that are not partnered with someone who's big, or that they're not in the city, or they don't have someone they can trust.
By giving them a platform that they will be able to collect their KYC from the registration part, store this KYC, and help this user manage this KYC so that they can access more values, including lending.
Most of these community savings groups are actually doing a lot, but it's not recorded anywhere.
This means that you collect money physically and you keep it inside a box and hide it under the bed, or someone decides, oh, I'm going to write down all the transactions in a book, and you trust them to keep track of it.
Nikicontribute leo, all the chama members wote wananicontribute. Hakuna wizi. Nyinyi wote mko in control of your pesa zenye zote mmechanga. In 3 months, you get 3 times the amount you save. So we are giving back to the chamas.
It allows you to set specific data like the amount of someone needs to pay when they are late in contributing the amount.
There's a gap between formal financial institutions that are in the 21st century and informal financial institutions like savings groups and SACCOs. We're the bridge. What we're trying to do is we're trying to partner financial institutions that want to reach out to informal financial institutions and bridge that gap. This is through us linking with formal financial institutions to provide other people with loans, or to provide other people with insurance, and just so that they can meet up together and maybe even create a bank account that they can store all their money in. And what HICOOL does is mainly we try to provide transparency and visibility to everyone on the platform.
And there is also education. These savings groups, not as much, yes, they are doing well in their own way. They want to be educated on different things. How do I invest my money? Where do I invest my money? How can I market maybe the products that I'm selling? So we are trying to do all that, as well as we have a marketplace for these groups to be able to showcase the products they are selling and the services they are offering. So we don't want to just them save and access loans. We want them to have access to financial education. We want them to be able to sell the products and the services that they are offering to the other communities like themselves. HICOOL is, I'd say, a very interesting platform that digitizes
Yeah, so this smart card will contain the student account information, and they can be using to purchase items at the canteen. So a parent can deposit cash by M-Pesa into this card for cash transactions. Thank you.
Great, thank you guys, thank you. Please give them a hand. So the next startup that will be going up is Twa. Maggie, are you here? Twa. Maggie, are you here? Twa going once. Twa going twice. All right, so we'll come back to Twa in case Maggie's around. IoT CE, IoT Center of Excellence. Nashan, are you here? Nashan, are you here? IoT CE. Okay, so that was a timer for the previous team. All right, so we'll skip them. So up next is AgriCap, are you here? I think some guys at the back, but because the next after that is AICE. Natasha, are you ready? All right, perfect. So you'll have 3 minutes. I'll cue you when to start. And when you want to move to the next slide, just cue the media team and be like, next slide. Or if you want to go without a slide, then that's cool too. So Natasha is heading in. So after AICE, Serape. So Alex, please be on standby for Serape after AICE. And then after that, we have reward ads. Gideon, I think Gideon's around. Then after that, we have Jobsy. So Matt, I see you there. All right, Sawa. So Natasha, welcome. Guys, please give her a hand.
How is everyone doing? It's going to be very short. My name is Natasha, co-founder of the AI Center of Excellence. And what we're doing is we're building the adoption of AI in Africa by accelerating it. And our main goal is to allow for both businesses, companies, and individuals to make use of AI. So I think I've changed my direction a little bit. So I'd like to talk about the services that we offer. We have AI for startups, corporate, government, so it cuts across all industries and sectors. And I'd like to invite you to collaborate with the AIC in terms of the services you need, because our main goal is for businesses across Africa to leverage off the 432 billion that the global market affords AI technology. So some of our services include all the way from data to artificial intelligence. So that includes data cleaning, data structuring, analysis, computer vision, NLP, neural networks. It cuts across board. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, Natasha Ochiel, or my email is natasha@aiceafrica.com, and we can leverage off AI together. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha. So up next, we have reward ads. Are you ready? Gideon, are you ready? All right, so next, all right, perfect. Welcome, Gideon. 3 minutes. And then you're good to go.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Gideon Ikindu. I am the CEO and co-founder of Reward Ads. Reward Ads basically is a disruptive marketing advertising platform that has come to change the way we think about advertising. So a lot of us have been doing advertising in the conventional way, where we put up billboards and posters and banners. But we have to wait for a very long period of time for the consumer to translate that content into something that they can actually turn into ROI. So we looked at what the pain points were and figured out a way to give that solution to the consumer. Gone are the days when I have to wait for 5 seconds to skip the ad on YouTube or scroll past something on Facebook. Now I can actually consume the data and get paid for it. And the difference that we have is most of the platforms that are already existing that do the same thing give people incentivizations of discounts and offers. We give you cash directly into your mobile wallet. So if I watch an ad for 50 shillings, I get paid 50 shillings immediately into my mobile wallet that I can translate into cash that I can use. For those who are not in areas of mobile wallet telco facilities, we have an integration with other brands that allows you to move that money that you earn into your bank. So gone are the days where you used to have to do an ad and wait for 50 different ads. You can watch one ad and buy your little skuma ugali at the end of the day to help your family. So we are enabling the people who live below $2 a day to become more cash incentive. And by that, we're also encouraging brands to have much bigger pool of the consumers that actually can engage and buy their products. In turn, we take the data we collect from the consumers of their engagement and their responses to the different questions that they're asked and give that data real-time back to the client. So we enable the client to have real-time analytics on the ground that they can actually use to pivot their business, reposition their products, and place themselves better with the consumers. I think that's it for us as Reward Ads. Thank you.
Thank you, Gideon. That was good with a whole minute to spare. So up next, we have Alex Serape. So welcome. You're good to go? I'll cue you as soon as I get back to the technical team.
Hi guys, good. My name is Alvin Munyao. I'm the founder and CEO of Serape. So I know you guys buy things on Gigi and Instagram, and you guys are getting conned. So instead of getting conned, pay with Serape, not M-Pesa. So what we do, we are an escrow service for decentralized peer-to-peer markets, like Gigi, as I said. So what happens, you go to Serape, instead of going to M-Pesa, pay through our app. Then what we'll do, through our last mile verification process, we'll connect you to the next courier, who will pick your product from town, deliver it at your house, confirm if you've accepted the product, then we'll wire the payment. If the product has been rejected, we'll reverse the transaction direct to you. So that's basically it. We are an escrow service. So next time you go to Instagram or Gigi, don't get caught. Lipa na sera, sir. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
So up next we have Jobsy. So welcome.
Hey, so I'm Mark Magea. I'm the founder of Jobsy. So Jobsy is transforming the informal sector and making life easier for people like you. So we are a peer-to-peer service marketplace and a financial services platform. So what we do, we are connecting service providers and service seekers. You may need something done, you can easily get someone to do it for you from Jobsy. And then we go further, since the guys doing these services for you, the cleaners, the photographers, these guys don't have pay slips. So we leverage the data from our platform to give them access to financial services, beach loans, all that. That's Jobsy.
Well, that was quick. Thanks, Matt. So up next, we have Taka Bank. Julian, are you close by? Okay. All right, so someone will go get him, but Hydro IQ, Davis, are you here? Hydro IQ? Perfect. So Hydro IQ will go up next, then we'll come back to Taka Bank.
Hi, everyone. My name is Victor Shikoli. I'm the co-founder at Hydro IQ, and we are a virtual water network that gives consumers a single and transparent platform to manage their water consumption and water management. Water utilities across Africa are inefficient, losing up to 50% of water before reaching the end consumer. In addition to that, they lose 45% of revenues as a result of unbilled consumption and meter inaccuracies. The result for this is over $3 billion lost in revenues for water utilities across the African continent. If you compare that on a global scale, it's up to $14 billion lost in revenues. We are a 3-service solution provider in that we plump into the entire water distribution space. First and foremost, to provide remote water monitoring and control, changing existing water infrastructures into smart water grids. Secondly, our solution provides 24/7 online access for end consumers and utility managers to be able to get real-time consumption data and analytics. Thirdly, our platform provides for a mobile-first application, which is mobile-first, for consumers to be able to monitor consumption trends as well as their payment history. In terms of growth, we are in two markets, so we are split between Kenya and Central America with 30-plus clients, and today we have 8,000 happy households using our platform, and with 100+ million liters of water already supplied through the HICOOL platform, with $10,000 annual recurring revenues, and with a 95% renewal rate. So these are just part of the competitive advantages of our solution. So we ensure usage management, and we ensure consumers, they pay for what they use and not the water that is being lost. This year, we have plans to fundraise to ramp up our sales and marketing and grow to other African markets and also in other emerging markets. So we welcome you and invite you to be part of this journey as we build and revolutionize the water sector by 2030. Thank you.
Thank you. So, just want to confirm. Up next, so yes, we have Giuliani with Taka Bank. So Giuliani, are you ready to go? Yeah. All right. Welcome, Chief.
Hey, Niaji. Kupoa. Nice. This is my first time doing this. So my name is Giuliani. I'm a hip hop artist, and I've been doing music for the last 10-15 years. And after 4 albums, after being successful in some kind of way, I really decided, let me set up a center in my own neighborhood, Dandora. So at the dam site, we bought some property, like a 3-story building, Dandora kwa dam site hapo nini. So nikakeleka, deposit 50% of the money, and then it so happened that we wanted to pitch to other people. So we wanted to go to companies and all these people to of course, to Jazilia. So it ended up being that people could give money, or they wanted to donate because, it's Giuliani. Or they wanted to donate, or they had no, of course, any concern whatsoever when it comes to storage waste. After the product is used, nobody cares about where it ends up later. So ilinikasicha kidogo, nikafeel, I need to do something about it. So of course, eventually we bought the building, we set up a center, and it's still in existence in Dandora Hip Hop City, and I've been continuously trying to push for conversation around waste, around health, around these disorders. So some time back, we even did a concert kwa dam site, the whole full setup, nini, ikaenda poa. But we realized that yes, music can inspire, music can make people do stuff, but music is not enough. It can only spark interest, it can only... So we founded that Taka Bank. Taka Bank, and what I could do is that in my process of trying to figure out what do we do about the waste, because like 2 tons of waste end up Dandora daily. Now 60% organic, hizo zingine ni plastic bottles and all this stuff. So nika have conversation na Kenya Association of Manufacturers, nika have conversation na KEPRO, and then I realized that the recyclers have no waste. So every time tunatembea kuna takataka mob kwa street, kwa dam site, and the reason why they don't have waste is because it's not the right waste. It's contaminated, so they can't use it. So another thing I wanted to, just the reason why I wanted to show is that once most of us have one or two, kuna mtu ametumia kitu hapa size, ndio. After hapo, whatever, and nobody cares about where it ends up after hapo. Sindio? So we care. And we are trying to create value around it. So what we did, we set up a Taka Bank 3 years ago. Hey, Mandasana, bro, let me explain. We set up Taka Bank 3 years ago, and we had youth groups trying to figure out, hey, Nyaji, can we include youth groups? Can we use tech as a solution? So we to set up kiosks in neighborhoods. We had like 1,000 users on the platform, but no. Yeah, so we are collecting daily 100 kgs from one Taka Bank. We are doing, that is plastic and everything else, but we are doing 100 organic every day. So we are trying to scale. I've been able to do, in the next mwezi kisha April, we'll be able to do like 100 of the Taka Banks and supply recyclers with clean, volume and segregated waste. At the same time, one of the most important things is that we do need tunapatiana recyclers, manufacturers data on wasona tumia nini area flani. So when conversation around credit, carbon credit and all that, so we are sorting the mehema. So nashukuru sana for your time, but we're trying to scale. We're looking for 100,000, of course, US to scale it to other communities. The whole country gonna deficit produce 6,000 tons a day ya waste na inaenda up kwa dam site na kwa street. So nashukuru sana, Mungu awabariki.
All right, thanks. Next, we have Vanva. They stepped out, so welcome. We'll set you up in 3 minutes. Good to go.
Great, thank you very much. All right, so we'll get the slides going. And let me have my timer ready. I'm looking forward to this. So I was having such great chats with the folks from Pixis that I didn't know that we'd already started. Are we good on the slides? So we are Vamba, and we are working on gamified credit scoring for mobility entrepreneurs. Do the next slide. Our vision is to provide access to credit to mobility entrepreneurs, and we'll do that with verified insights on the underlying risk profile of our users, and that'll allow us to provide really affordable credit. We can skip to 2 slides. So within Africa, I'm just going to go for it. Within Africa, this is a $1 billion market. And within Kenya, we're looking at about $100 million that we can tap into. And this is a conservative figure from the perspective of those numbers are based just off of Uber riders. Our solution is to create a platform where we can get to understand the mobility entrepreneurs. We'll have them perform daily actions and get to understand their underlying risk profile. So they'll be logging in and performing actions that will tell us about the kinds of businesses that they're running. One of the problems that lending institutions only have a partial idea on who they're giving money to, and that means they have to balance what they don't know with higher fees. So if we can get a good understanding of who we're dealing with, exactly. Okay, so we've got the problem that we're dealing with is that few drivers own vehicles, but most want to. Additionally, there are rigid credit requirements, and there's a massive savings gap as well. What we want to do is take the market from where it currently is, where only a very small number of people own vehicles, to the triangle on the right, where we want most people owning their vehicles and being in charge of their financial security. Next slide. So our target market is mobility entrepreneurs. Just to clarify what that means, it's anyone who's earning off of a vehicle and they're self-employed, as opposed to being employed. We're going to take people from boda to vehicle, from renting to owning, and from owning one vehicle to owning an additional vehicle and growing their businesses. So we get gamified user engagement, targeted business insights, and then affordable lending off the back of that. We can move along. So in terms of revenue, we'll be able to earn off of various things. We'll be able to earn off of the lending that we do. We'll be able to earn off of partnerships. We'll be able to earn off of embedded finance and the data that we have. And then finally, what we see over here is a prototype. So I think move on to the next slide. What we'll do is connect users with the thing that they're working towards every time they log in. And then the gamification comes from helping the user to maximize the score, a VUMVA score. And with the increased VUMVA score, they'll be able to get better credit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. So up next, we have Adanian. Joy, you ready? Great.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Joy Mwangi, CEO and co-founder at Adanian. I want to ask a question. How many of us have watched an animation from Africa? Anybody? Animation from Africa? Any animation fans? Yeah? What's your favorite animation? Yeah? Rick and Morty. Fantastic. All right, anybody else? Yes? Star Wars. Fantastic. Super. So Adanian is a Pan-African animation studio that is present in 4 markets in Kenya, headquartered here in Nairobi, in South Africa, in the UK and Nigeria. And we're very simple. Our model is to be able to create African stories, because when I watch Lion King and I watch their characters, it's from Isiolo, but I don't think what they're saying is what is here, is it? So we want to tell our own stories. And what we also do and what we're looking at is East Africa's first feature film that is worth 100 minutes. It has never been done. So when you look at Africa in itself, there are only 2 feature films that have been attempted before. So we are the 3rd ones in Kenya. We also do capacity building and are very passionate about training. So we train animators in our bootcamp. Has anyone heard about Adanian Bootcamp, where we train animators? All right, right at the back. And so we do that for a period of 3 to 4 months. And so what that does is to build the capacity that Africa has to be able to create content, but we also do commercial work. How many of us are entrepreneurs? There we go. How many of us market? Advertising, right? Have you ever thought about animation for your marketing, right? So Adanian should be top of your list to be able to make that happen. And so even as Aziz shows us the teaser to this particular film, the last thing that we do is we're also creating an e-market portal where animators and creatives can have one conversation. Are you looking for a job as an animator? You can find it there. Are you a studio looking to... You can find it there. You can advertise your work. You can showcase what you guys are doing as a studio, as a person. And so, are we ready? There we go. Please watch it. Let me know your feedback. Again, don't forget, it's East Africa's first. Take your phones, tweet about it, tag Adanian. That would be super, super cool. Does it have sound? Aziz, we can't hear the audio. So this is the movie that we're talking about. It's amazing how much talent we have in Kenya alone. It was fully done here by all 5 animators, right? And this particular trailer is worth $2,000. And we're looking to raise funds worth $2 million to be able to create the movie. And it means we need around 150 animators to make it happen. So we are climbing a mountain, very excited about it. Aziz, any luck with the audio? Okay, so I think we've seen the concept and we've seen the quality. Thank you so much for your time, guys.
All right, sorry about that, Joy. So she'll get to show the trailer as soon as they fix the sound issue. All right, so next we have Instruct. Instruct, are you good? Are you ready? All right, cool. So 3 minutes on the clock. All the best.
Hello, guys. So my name is Kanyede, and I'm the CEO and founder and co-founder at Instruct. So in the last session we had a lot of talk about licensing and regulations when it comes to setting up our startups, and this basically brings us to the key activity that we have at Instruct. So Instruct helps you match your legal needs to the best lawyer. We help connect you to the lawyer that you need for all your legal needs. We're a SaaS platform, a platform that can enable you get legal services from any lawyer that you would like, and also any lawyer that is best suited to your case scenario. How many founders in the house? I believe all of you have legal needs for your startups, so Instruct is the location to be at when it comes to accessing convenient and affordable legal services. We want to pull in a wide network of lawyers who can be able to serve you within the confines of our platform and make sure, and our job is to make sure that your needs are actually met and you're able to take your business to the next level. We are looking to scale into different sectors within the law. We have family law, people get married, people get divorced. We have the small businesses, we have border riders, matatu drivers who have high legal risks when they are operating. So imagine you're a matatu driver and you are arrested in the morning. You don't know what to do unless you raise a bribe or actually go through the whole process. There's really no alternative out there. So we are providing for a platform where if you have any legal need, you can always have a solution on your hand through our platform. Thank you, and all of you are invited to seek your legal services from Instruct. Thank you.
Thank you. That was quick, thank you. So up next, we have Jungle Farm. Jungle Farm, are you ready? All right, great. So 3 minutes on the clock. All the best.
Evening, everyone. So my name is Dennis, co-founder of Jungle Farm. Jungle Farm is basically a farm and healthcare platform. I know most of us have had issues whereby we're looking for medication, whether it's yours or for your loved one, to make that job easy. How we do that is we link the whole pharmaceutical chain, manufacturers, distributors, pharmacies. In the end of it, we link the consumers. So by linking the whole supply chain, we'll be sure that your nearest pharmacy has the medication that you want. This was brought by because back in 2020, we had a couple of friends, diabetic, medicine shortage in Kenya, and unfortunately some of them passed. Medicine was they had in stock. So that's why we came up with Jungle Farm to make sure that, we'll never have that again. So yes, that's the startup that we have. Aside from just the farm and healthcare industry, we also more or less try to go into hospitals and clinics, make sure the whole purchasing process is streamlined as well. So yeah, thank you. I think that's all I have.
That was too fast, gosh. That was 1 minute 30, I wasn't even ready. Okay, so next we have Payland, but I'm not sure if Juma is around. So we can go with Tausi app as Juma comes around. Amos, are you around? Ah, perfect, perfect. All right, are you doing a solo pitch? Yeah. All right.
Hi guys. So my name is Amos. Between 2012 and 2017, I was a gospel artist, one of the biggest gospel group in the country. From a gospel group called SOC Kenya, we did songs like Dawa ya Mede, Kwa Nyumba Yako. We did Bila Yesu We Kuisha. We did Zongelela. We had so many hit songs. But 2018 came, we were supposed to shoot a music video with an artist called Pitson. So I called up Pitson. And I asked which makeup artist he used for his video, kwa sababu Pitson akaangi hivyo. If you met him in person, he looked different in the video. So I asked. So he gave me a contact for a makeup artist. When I called the makeup artist, she said that I have to send her money first in order for her to come glam me for my video shoot. So I was like, what kind of nonsense is that? Because I've not even seen your work. I got another makeup artist. She said musicians don't pay makeup artists. What they do is they say that they're going to give them exposure. So I ordered an Uber back home after I shot a video without a makeup artist. We used some girls' powders. So when I got back home, I ordered an Uber, and I figured out the Uber guy found it so easy to come pick me from the venue, take me back home. But when I was riding, I was thinking, how comes this guy feels so safe? He believes I have money, but the makeup artist didn't believe I have money. So I started learning about Uber. I figured out the model and how it works, and that's how Tausi app was born. So I created the Uber of Beauty. It's a marketplace for beauticians. We have more than 5,000 makeup artists. If you log into www.tausiapp.com, you're going to. So what we do is we connect you to quality beauticians by a click of a button. You get to see their profile, you get to see who they are, you get to see where they are, so you can book a makeup artist to come groom you wherever you are, whoever is closer to you. If you are a guy and you want to shave, you can do that. We are planning to shave high schoolers because we figured out they always ask for leave-outs to go shave outside. So that's what Tausi practically just does. If we are in more, we actually just hit 23 photo studios in town. So if you're planning to do a photo shoot, if you go to a photo studio, you won't find, gone are the days you find a makeup artist employed there to stay there for 24 hours, because you can just dial a makeup artist via Tausi app. What we also do is we make sure that we get customer care weeks for big companies, because we have the numbers for makeup artists. So we actually provide those makeup artists to corporate companies. I don't know what else I'm leaving. I think that's all that we do. We've partnered with TV stations because they do makeup at least twice a day. So we are providing opportunities for makeup artists. We are a marketplace for makeup artists. Thank you.
Hey, quick, with 5 seconds to spare. Thank you, Amos. So up next, I'm not sure if Juma is around. I know he's around, he's just around. Okay, so we have Circulatory. Circulatory, are you ready to go? All right. Welcome, Eric. Then after Circulatory, we have Shamba Assist. Then Mgenzi, and we'll be good to go. Hey, you have a whole setup. Wow, okay, perfect.
Hey everybody, my name is Eric. I come from Dandora. Okay, we all know about the Dandora dam site. It started in 1975, and less than 3 decades later, it was declared full. So by the time I was born, the dam site was full, and till this day, it's still in use. The problem is that most of the waste that we make, for example, this bin right here, usually is mixed up with all types of waste, and it's put in a truck and sent all the way to Dandora, where women, children, fathers make a living scavenging for plastic waste. And this model is not sustainable. And in most developing countries where populations are growing at a very unexpected rate, and we can attest that climate change is really starting to get a toll on our community. This is why we need circular economy, where waste doesn't end up in a landfill, but is instead recycled or reused and kept in this circular economy loop, so that we don't have any waste being or affecting our environment. So what we're doing at Circularity is we're building smart waste management bins. We call them smart bins. Smart bin is an AI-powered bin that is able to identify the type of waste you throw and give you rewards that you can redeem for cash or for discounts on products. For example, if you throw this plastic bottle, it will give you points that when you accumulate over time, you can get, let's say, an extra Fanta, or you can turn it to cash. And what we're doing is we are turning your waste into cash. So we're here to actually, we're also pitching to Adanian Labs. Let's have a bin here that people can drop their plastic waste, earn points, and redeem them in our marketplace. Thank you so much.
Nice. All right, thank you, Eric. So up next, we have Shamba Assist.
Awesome. Hello, hi. My name is Felix Kimani Karaoke. I represent an organization, it's called Program for Capacity Development in Africa. And our focus is agri-tech, agriculture space. We build the capacity of farmers to be able to enable higher production. Many of the farmers, according to what we've seen in data and also our piloting scheme, created into it, goes to the farmer to tell the farmer what kind of fertilizer is best, what needs to be put into the soil, and also what kind of seed to be used for higher productivity. So Shamba Assistant is what I'm presenting here. I wish they had put it up, but we have a prototype. Basically, what we are asking for tonight is about $20,000, so at least we can be able to create more of the same device. We have an MOU with the Muranga County government where we're able to do the piloting phase. Now we are going into the marketing phase of it, and we need to train youth so that they can go into every single ward and also create farm hubs in every single ward so that farmers have access to the device for them to be able to do farming that is more productive. Many of the farmers that we are looking at, most of them are 60 years plus. So which means knowledge is something they lack, and therefore our target and our goal is to work with the youth to be able to enable the farmers to be able to farm productively. I wish they had put up the device itself so you can have a look at it. It's a simple device, just an issue of, for somebody who it doesn't require somebody to have much knowledge to use it. It's just an issue of pinning it into the ground. It has a start and stop button. The data is collected, sent to an analytics platform, and then now agronomist is able to pretty much tap into that and send the feedback that is needed. So basically is $20,000. The Kenyan market is about 3 million. That is the target market that we have. And looking at $5 to $20 as the cost to the farmer as a service, a return of 5 to 7 years of about 25 to 60 million. If you have to look at the whole of Kenya, we'll need about 30 million to be able to build similar devices. It's so much needed because many of the farmers, we're looking at 76% of our farmers don't have access to extension services. Yet 70% of them are able to use their mobile devices to get the kind of advice that they do need. 93% of our food come from them, that is the small scale farmers, so they need to be empowered with knowledge. Many of them, as I said, they are 65 plus, so much of the farming they're doing is all traditional. And that's my take. So unless anybody has any question, I think I've cleared my 3 minutes, right? Okay, good.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so up next is Mjenzi. So welcome and all the best. 3 minutes.
Hi. So last but not least, my name is Flavia. I'm here to tell you about MGenzi. So we are an online home expo specializing in construction and home improvement material. So we've had this theory that buy a willing seller being thrown around a lot, but the assumption that this theory assumes is that as long as there's a buyer, there's a seller, and I can access all the buyers. So for example, I want to buy a plant container to hold my plant in my house. So I'll go around, look for a vendor around my area, see a few examples of what is in the market, and then I'll make a decision. But in that process, there is a Mijikenda weaver who has very creative, innovative, different designs of makuti baskets. How many know about makuti baskets? Yes, it's a very common thing in Africa. And just because this vendor cannot reach this customer, they end up not benefiting from this. So as MGenzi, we are giving you a catalog of products from wherever you are in the world, and we hope that the next time you're building your construction, you're going to think of MGenzi. So we need funding at the moment because we are looking at a CSR to digitize street vendors. So if you walk around Nairobi, there are a lot of people selling interior decorations on the streets. So one of our CSR is to improve these people's livelihood. We want to give them access to a global market so that anyone in China, anyone wherever in the world, they can be able to see this vendor and buy from them, promote their livelihood, and improve their livelihood in the long run. So the next time you think construction and home expo, we hope you think MGenzi. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we'll be going on to the final pitch. Juma, Payland, are you ready to go? All right, welcome. This is the final pitch of the evening from a guy who's done a lot.
So, hi everyone. My name is Eleutherius Juma. I am the CEO and co-founder for Payland Africa. At Payland, what we've done is we've digitized the black book, which is used by micro, small, and medium enterprises to record credit that they give to their loyal customers. And with this, we are able to foster profitability and sustainability among this economic sector that has for decades been left out of the financial inclusion. And just to give you an analogy to understand what we do, growing up, my mom used to send me to our neighborhood shop, and whenever she did this, she'd not give me money. So I'd go to John's shop, and I'd always come back with bread, milk, butter, or whatever she has sent me. Then a few weeks later, or a month, my mom would always pay back this money. And all along, John used to record this on a piece of paper that he called a black book. Now, the problem is that every time I go back to my neighborhood, John's shop is still the same. The only difference is that right now, his nephew is the one managing the shop. So, why is it so? Because John lacks a way in which he can record the transactions that he performs on a daily basis, and due to this, he's not able to understand the actual value of his shop. This attributes to the fact that John cannot access credit in any way to foster his business. So, Payland has a solution for this, and what we've done is we've digitized the transactions that John performs on a daily basis, helping him understand the actual value of his shop. And with this, we are able to extend credit intelligently to John based on his repayment abilities. So how the product works basically is my mom would walk to John's shop, sign up on Payland, then once she does this, makes a request to John's shop, upon which John accepts the request, and that's a successful transaction. Easy peasy. So with the transaction that we get from this platform, we are able to intelligently again extend credit to both my mom and John's shop. And with this product, we are targeting 1.3 billion people living in Africa, estimated to be at 1.8 billion by the year 2028. And why would my mom and John decide to use Payland anyway? So number one, we have made it easy for them to access credit. We are giving them affordable credit with low interest as low as 2.5%. And also, we are able to help them instill financial discipline, because basically on Payland, if you request to buy bread, then you're going to get the value of the money that we are giving you. You're not getting the money, the liquid money. Then number 4 is that we are driving impact. Despite just making revenue as a company, we are also driving impact as a company. And basically how we make money is out of interest. We also have transactional charges on the transactions that occur on our platform. And also we have a late repayment on the credit that we offer on our platform. Basically, the traction that we've had to date is we have 10,000 users, predominantly in Kenya. We have 3,000 shops. Currently, we've been incorporated in Zambia, about to launch operations in the next 2 months. And we've raised 2 million in our seed round last year. And currently, we are looking at partnering with people within the fintech space, MSMEs, people who work with MSMEs, schools, institutions, education institutions, and anyone else who wants to build the local economy in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Juma. So just to let you guys know, the stakes are high. The guy who just pitched has already raised $2 million US, but he's still pitching, so guys, keep pushing. So we'll have one quick pitch by PLP, then we'll have LumaPay, who was skipped, then we'll be closing from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Favor. Good evening. My name is Albert from PLP, that's Powerland Project. And to power the next generation of software developers. And the problem from where we're looking at is the need for software developers to power the startup movement across Africa. So looking at the issue from a demand for these tech talents, startups in Africa looking to provide solutions for the challenges faced by Africans. The challenge, one of the biggest challenges that they are facing is affordable and accessible tech talent. And this is the gap that you're looking to fill. So what does it look like to access our program? It is a scholarship, meaning that you're partnering with all these partners to be able to make it more affordable and more accessible. We are partnering across Africa with telcos to whitelist the platform. I should have mentioned that this is a self-directed online learning for software developers, taking you from no code to code. And what you're producing, or the graduates are junior software developers. So we are partnering also with telcos to whitelist our platforms, meaning that you can access these learning or this course at zero data charge. If you are connected, say, with Safaricom, you can be able to learn through our platform at zero data cost implications to the learners. What else? So what does learning look like? It is peer-driven. Once you join, you're going to be grouped in a peer of 10 learners who you're going to walk through the learning journey with. And from there on, you're going to be in a community of developers where we can connect with potential employment opportunities. So who are we looking for to join our platform? We are looking for people who are excited about tech, people who like new challenges, enjoy new challenges, and people who want to learn new skills, and that is coding. And you're welcome. So join our movement as we power the next generation of African startups.
Thank you. Albert, you have some fans, the guys who have questions.
Sorry, yeah. Yes. So you're asking the advantage our platform with every other, with Coursera or?
Yeah. So basically, I feel like that field has a lot of people in it, right?
Yeah.
So why would I choose you over Udemy, over Coursera, over all those other platforms, over even YouTube? What edge do you have? What's your low-hanging fruit, if I can ask?
So we've tried to bring a classroom experience, only that this is online. So what that means is that you're going to learn within a peer group in a cohort, meaning you're not alone in Udemy trying to figure things out. You're walking through the learner's journey in a peer group of 10. On top of that, we have instructors behind the scene, and the model that you're taking, I should have mentioned, is a flipped classroom model, where you learn, it's self-directed, you learn, you can do your hustle during the day, in the evening, you join the class, catch up with your peers what they've learned. If you're stuck on something, you can tag your peers to see whether they can, they can give you a solution to that. But on top of that, we have instructors behind there, and what you do, you book appointments with them. So you have this calendar and you book support time with the instructors. They're not there to give you lectures, they're there to support you in case you're stuck. So it's self-paced, self-directed. And I don't think that's a value proposition Udemy will be able to provide at this moment. Second, we are working with more and more partners. The whitelisting, meaning you're accessing all this content and all this value of the platform without any data implication on your part. Go to YouTube. What's the data implication of YouTube to you as you're learning a 10-hour course, 10 hours of video on YouTube? Second, on top of that, we have certificates. We are going to build brand equity on our end so that, again, with all these partners that you're working with, maybe I should not mention them right now, but there would be brand equity on the certificate from Powerland project. And I think that is a value proposition of Udemy or YouTube. Yeah.
Is it a free service? Is it a free service?
It is not a free service. It's very expensive. We've partnered with people to be able to make it affordable and accessible. And again, it is a scholarship. You apply for a scholarship to these course. So we are looking to train 1 million developers in the next 3 years. So it's very accessible.
Sorry, another question.
Yeah.
Do you as a platform, what do you do after I have graduated and I have my certificate? Is it once I'm out of your hands, I am just out of your life, or do you do after-sale services, which means as a junior developer, I basically do not know where to get jobs or how to start up in this community? What do you do about that?
So on top of the coding modules that are there, we have a module called soft skills, which has 2 elements, employability skills and entrepreneurship skills. And employability is just to make you more attractive to potential employers, meaning you can be able to communicate well, you can be able to work within a team. What else? You can be able to work within a project setting, meaning you have some form of project management skills within you. Entrepreneurship, meaning one of our key sort of focus within this project, this initiative, is for a percentage of our students to be able to launch their own startups, meaning within the communities that you're working, talent and business opportunities, and now that you have coding skills, you can be able to develop sort of tech-backed sustainability.
Yes, that's my last question. how sure are you that the people you will produce will not be half-baked people? Because for other platforms, what you do is basically you just watch and they basically check that you've finished it.
Yeah.
How sure are you that you'll actually provide the impact that is needed to make me, as a junior software developer, ready for the market in every sense possible? Thank you.
It starts with selection. We are going to have a rigorous selection process, meaning that hoping that attract and enroll the right kind of students with the right mindset. This is a self-directed program, meaning you need to have high motivation for you to, like, you know, this is self-driven. No one is behind you with exams, with all these things looking for you to pass and do that. So second, the peer learning group to help to motivate you and to power through the learning course. I think that's still a very valuable element, aspect of the program to bring to the program. And that, it is very, very activity-based. This is not your typical university sit down, go through hours of lecture sort of learning. This is activity and assignment based, meaning after every topic there's an assessment and an activity that you're supposed to go do and submit. So on submitting, we are targeting 1 million people, so we don't have instructors to grade and mark assignments, 1 million assignments every week. So this is again peer evaluated work. So you're submitting these assignments and these projects to your peers for your peers to grade you. So there is that challenge pushing you to learn. And remember, this is software development. I don't know, Favor, what percentage of self-learning is involved to build? What percentage is books and self-driven when it comes to software development?
I think for all the good software developers, software engineers I know, it's more 60 to 70% self-driven, that 30 to 40% books and academic learning, because you have guys graduating in the first class who are unemployable, despite having the knowledge, but guys who haven't joined university being employed because of the skill sets. So.
Thank you. Any more questions?
No more questions. All right, thanks a lot, guys. So the last pitch, LumenPay, and yes, so LumenPay, go ahead.
Hi, guys. It's Obodo Mwanga from LumenPay. So LumenPay is a crypto payment platform that helps employers pay employees with crypto. So if some of you or you know guys who are work online or are freelancers, you know that with the current payment methods that are there like PayPal, you can get delays, they are expensive, and sometimes you cannot even receive the money. So with LumenPay, what we have come to do is to help freelancers and companies that are using global employees who are remote, and we are going to help them make that payment method faster and reliable. So we are using the blockchain, which is secure and it's transparent, such that every payment you can see it, and yeah, I think that's it.
All right, thank you. So the last one, this one is a spontaneous pitch, sustainer coin, but because you're last, I'll give you 2 minutes. All right, come through.
Yeah. Hello, guys. This was a bit of a last call, I'd call it, but it's something that's worth noting. It's something that's really profound, and I feel like it's really disruptive, yeah, in one sense or another. So I go by David. I want to start by defining myself, or my name. Rather, I go by David. David is my name, and I consider myself to be a social innovator. Yeah. And lately I came up with this thing, not lately, but just a few years back, actually. It's been a few years. It's been 3, actually. It's this concept that I like to define as sustainer coin. Sustainer coin. I want to break it down really easy, really slow, really candidly for you all to soak it in. So, first off, I want to mention that I have a bit of a financial background, yeah? Just a significant, almost insignificant, but significant in a sense. So I know about the financial underpinnings and the things that define markets and the operations. And I just recently got to understand the whole, how do you call it? The decentralized nature of events and how they happen, yeah? So I'm basically talking to you guys about DeFi or DeFi or that, for those who might be familiar with it. And sustainer coin is basically a way to, just give me 3, 2, 10 seconds, I was limited. It's a way to incentivize sustainability. It's a way to incentivize sustainable acts and practices, yeah? You buy a Coca-Cola bottle or a plastic bottle of our nature, of what sense, you dispose of it in the right way, and then your action, your sustainable action, gets incentivized by a token we define or we call sustainer coin, yeah? So we have smart bins that we develop.
Time, sorry.
Yo, next time maybe.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Thank you all for your time. So there's one last announcement on an activity this evening. So I'm going to call on Kenneth, and then we will call it a wrap. For everyone who signed up, I think there's a sheet going around. This is so that for other startup events that we have and opportunities that come out, that you're also within the database to be able to access it and get to benefit off those opportunities. And then, of course, for the HICOOL team online on Zoom, we'll be able to review the startups that have pitched. And then please make sure you also apply online so that now you still go through that review process as well. So Kenneth will now make the announcement and Heather will close. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Thank you again.
All right, thank you everybody for gracing this occasion. As always, I'll always welcome you guys back. We are a community that needs to continue to interact with one another and continue the process of building each other. So as we're done with the event on this end, this time around, we're going to do things a little bit differently and invite you all to a little bit of a networking session where we'll have a cocktail. But this is going to happen at Edu's Bar. This is located in Lavington along Bazi Road. So if any of you are not too sure about the location, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
And then just one last thing, I should have brought this up earlier, but for those who will register their startup on HICOOL, there's actually an invitation code. And yeah, I'll just read it, so if you can like write it somewhere, and then I'll also Z1 IZM. Z1 IZM. Yeah, you can just keep it somewhere and then. Yes, Z1 IZM. Okay, cool. I'll find other ways to share later. Okay, thank you. And see you at Adu's if you're not going home now. It's Friday.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Enjoy the services requested, rate the beautician, and pay. The balance after the service is complete. Tausi app, beauty on the go. Follow us at www.tausiapp.com. Need a makeup artist? Then you're in luck, because at Tausi app we offer fast and convenient luxury at the tap of a button. Simply search by location, desired service, or beautician's name. Then book the beautician. After that, pay 20% of the booking fee and the beautician will arrive at a specified time. Enjoy the services requested, rate the beautician, and pay. The balance after the service is complete. Tausi app, beauty on the go. Follow us at www.tausiapp.com. Need a makeup artist? Then you're in luck, because at Tausi app we offer fast and convenient luxury at the tap of a button. Simply search by location, desired service, or beautician's name. Then book the beautician. After that, pay 20% of the booking fee and the beautician will arrive at a specified time. Enjoy the services requested, rate the beautician, and pay. The balance after the service is complete. Tausi app, beauty on the go. Follow us at www.tausiapp.com. Need a makeup artist? Then you're in luck, because at Tausi app we offer fast and convenient luxury at the tap of a button. Simply search by location, desired service, or beautician's name. Then book the beautician. After that, pay 20% of the booking fee and the beautician will arrive at a specified time. Enjoy the services requested, rate the beautician, and pay. The balance after the service is complete. Tausi app, beauty on the go. Follow us at www.tausiapp.com. Need a makeup artist? Then you're in luck, because at Tausi app we offer fast and convenient luxury at the tap of a button. Simply search by location, desired service, or beautician's name. Then book the beautician. After that, pay 20% of the booking fee and the beautician will arrive at a specified time. Enjoy the services requested, rate the beautician, and pay. The balance after the service is complete. Tausi app,